idiot.
I'm not specifically seeking out 2 girls, 1 boy.
Well, we are. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
That wasn't me trying to be spooky, that's just how I talk.
We know.
Ooh.
It's not even dark out while we're recording.
No, but welcome to our Christmas special? No, Halloween special.
Oh my god, are we going to do a Christmas special?
Of course we are. Yeah. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
We're going to do 3 shows that aren't worthy of their own episode, and we're just going to put them in this one. Minisodes. Well, we actually discussed this, where we were going to release 3 small episodes sort of within a week of each other, but I'm just going to put the whole thing together. There's a reason for this. The main reason is they're genuinely not good enough to be their own episodes. And the other reason is, you know, Amicus, is it Amicus or Abacus Films?
I want to say Abacus.
Abacus. I think it's Abacus Films. No, it is Amicus. So it was a film company, film production studio in the 60s in Britain, and they were famous for their horror films, and they did horror portmanteau films. So that was basically a bunch of different horror stories all pushed into one film. And
ghost stories.
Like ghost stories, yeah. And the most famous use of this structure is actually the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. Oh, the League of Gentlemen did it as well for their own Halloween special. And the way that these things work is they start off with like quite a good one, and then they have the middle one being a fairly forgettable one, and the end one is the really scary one. So, for that reason, I've decided that we're going to, if it's okay with you, the way we're going to do this is Laura talks about, what is it, Billy and Mandy?
Yeah, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Then we have Mona the Vampire from Meg, and then I'll finish with the Spooks of Bottle Bay.
Okay.
Well, because it's the really scary one, or because it's the worst one?
But I mean, I guess both. It is very scary.
But not, I don't think, in the way they intended.
I think it's so scary. I mean, we can save this, but it's just it's scary in the atmosphere that it is unintentionally created for itself.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does absolutely make sense. So shall we kick things off with Laura's?
Yes.
I mean, I started this episode and I saw the both of them just as I was talking and doing the intro, just staring at their phones, like both of them, which has never happened before. And now I realise that like they've actually done their research for this.
No. The reason presumably the reason Laura was staring at her phone was because she's done research and has written notes down. But the reason I was staring at my phone was because there's so little to say about Mona the Vampire. I was hurriedly seeing if I could find anything else. It was just blind panic, Els. Just blind panic.
Well, I appreciate that you're both, you know, working on the episode as we're doing it. But yeah.
So I'll just get into it?
Yeah.
So
I would.
The Grim Adventures.
We've got some fajitas waiting in the other room.
The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy actually started as a show called Grim and Evil, which I haven't seen, so I can't say much about, but that started in 2001, and it was like a shorter vignettes thing, and it was a popular one, so they were like, let's make a whole show. What episode did you watch?
I watched the first episode, and I watched the Trick or Treat episode.
Excellent. Okay, and you watched the Halloween episode?
Yeah, I couldn't get the first one to work.
Fair enough. But yeah, so I haven't watched it since I was a kid, so it started in 2001, the same year that Grim and Evil did, and it went till 2007. So I watched this the whole time I was a kid. I loved this show. It follows two kids, Billy, who is, to put it as mildly as I can, a massive fucking idiot, and Mandy, who is terrifying. She's a little girl, but she's like very cynical, grumpy, goth coded.
Got Wednesday Addams vibes.
Yeah, Wednesday Addams, but like more because it's a cartoon, so she can do whatever she wants.
Yeah, she's evil.
Wednesday Addams has also been cartoonified.
Yeah. Oh, crazy chopping Charlie! Don't come knocking at my door. Who are you?
I'm Hamlet.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
Ah!
Billy, it's us.
But
it's a costume.
I don't get it.
It's Halloween, you idiot!
Halloween!
Yeah, so they trick the Grim Reaper into it's into their slave, but he's their friend, right?
They make a deal with death.
Yeah. They do like a limbo competition, and they win. The Grim Reaper in this is Jamaican. He was originally...
Yeah, I liked that.
I liked it as well.
He was supposed to be Swedish.
Oh!
No, Jamaican's better.
And like the voice actor doing it is Jamaican, and apparently the Swedish accent just kind of went, so in Grim and Evil he sounds more Swedish.
Was it a Jamaican actor doing a Swedish accent?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Okay.
And then it just became more Jamaican. They were like, you know what, that actually works better, because the limbo thing was there before they made him Jamaican.
Yeah.
So they were like, this works a lot better. And I actually really like it as well. I remember watching it again this time going, oh yeah, he's Jamaican.
I mean, I was watching the first episode and I thought, this is a little bit Jamaican, but it's also something else.
Yeah.
And then I watch a later one and it is fully Jamaican. I felt bad, like, knowing that he is actually a Jamaican actor, and I was ready to be like, what a weird Jamaican accent.
I think he grew up in the US, but like he is Jamaican, so his accent might not be that one, but yeah. Greg Eagles, if anyone.
The way he says scythe, which he does multiple times, it's so good. I really like it. I enjoyed this.
Ta-da! I'm the Grim Reaper. Grim, I'm gonna borrow your scythe for tonight, okay?
Just be careful, you twerp.
I'll be super careful.
What did I tell you about my scythe?
I loved this show. I think like Mandy's like really clever and evil, and I think I just vibed a lot with Mandy. Yeah, so the first few episodes are vignette episodes, so there's like 2-minute episodes. So there's like 4 of them in one episode, and then it's longer episodes because the Trick or Treat one is a 20-minute long episode, which is what I remembered them being. So when I watched the first episode and it was these shorter ones, I was like, oh, I don't remember that, but yeah.
So once they win the limbo competition, I think, was it Mandy's idea or Death's idea
to do limbo?
No, to say, if I lose, I'll have to become your best friend forever for all eternity.
I think it was Billy's probably the one that said best friend. Okay. Mandy would say slave.
Right.
Like 100%. Mandy would never say best friend. They just go around having, grim adventures. And the like scope of these adventures and how utterly universe shattering they are really varies episode to episode. There's one episode where they try and make Mandy smile and the balance of the universe is thrown off because she doesn't smile. And then they get her to smile, but it's not a real smile, so the balance is fine.
I think American cartoons for kids are better than, generally I think better than British ones, because they're like way more zany and there's so much more for adults in there. Like there's actual comedy in there.
Yeah.
And I think the only time Britain did this was with The Secret Show, which again is like,
oh, when are we gonna do it?
Soon.
Oh,
soon.
I love it.
It's so highly stylized in a way that basically every American cartoon is, and almost no British cartoons are. And when I was watching this, I was like, I'd seen like images of it throughout my life, but I'd never seen it because I never watched any. I didn't have Nick Jr., Nickelodeon, whatever it was on, Disney.
This is Cartoon Network.
Well, that one as well, yeah. And I was like, oh, this is obviously like a sort of 2000s American cartoon.
I love cartoon, like Cartoon Network stuff from when we were kids is always going to be like special to me because they are the ones that they, for whatever reason, like 2000 to 2009, they put in a lot of money and a lot of effort into kids' cartoons for Cartoon Network because they're all really stylized. They all have the same vibe of Cartoon Network, but they're all individual enough that they don't feel like the same show. And they're all like, people cared about them, people wrote them, they're funny, etc. They even have cameos in each of the shows. Like Mandy is in the Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, which again is such a cool concept. We should do that one day, but I don't know when we'd fit that in. And yeah, you can watch them and you go, oh yeah, this is clearly a Cartoon Network show if you know the vibe, but it's still so different from the other ones. And Cartoon Network had this thing, they still do it, but when you look at it now and you look at it then, it's like kind of sad now. When there's like a preview bit before the show starts and they have a cinema theatre full of all the Cartoon Network characters.
Oh,
when we were kids, it was full, right? It was absolutely full of like Johnny Bravo, Billy and Mandy, the guys from Foster's Home for Imaginary People, the kids next door, etc. Now it's like 10 characters.
That's really sad. Well, I mean, guess it's Halloween and it's Cartoon Network we're talking about, so I should bring up. I'm not going to talk about it because we could talk forever, but Over the Garden Wall. Yeah.
Oh, is it Cartoon Network?
It was Cartoon Network, yeah.
Well, because Cartoon Network's also Adult Swim, and I just feel like that group of people are all weird. And
it's kind of like there's a group of people in the UK, the Horrible Histories people, that specialise in making comedy for everyone that is for adults and children.
Yeah.
And it feels like a sort of US sect.
Over the Garden Wall has always felt a bit too existential for me to be for kids. Even though it's a cartoon and it looks like it's for kids, you watch it and you're like, oh.
The thing is, I don't think if you're a kid, you're aware of that.
No, I completely agree with you. Like, as we have learnt through many of the shows we've done, kids aren't thinking, oh, this isn't appropriate for me.
Yeah, I should have been thinking that about the Spooks of Bottle Bay, but we will get to that. Did you notice, I tried not to do too much research into this because this is yours, but the woman that plays Mandy,
Grey Griffin.
Grey DeLiesel, she was called or is now called, but
She's
yes.
got several different portmanteaus.
Yeah, but she is Mandy and Emily Elizabeth from Clifford.
I noticed. I was like, oh yeah, she's also in Clifford the Big Red Dog. She is prolific across.
Oh yeah, well I played her
shows.
real basically a few episodes ago, so yeah.
One of the reasons I loved it when I was a kid is because Billy is an extremely simple character, right? Grim.
I love him
in every sense of the word. He's simple,
but a child. Like, sorry, when they're kids, they're just thick though, aren't they? He will grow up. You can't call a child a bimbo, right? Yeah. But he is a thicky.
But you can call him a thicky no brains.
Yeah.
And then Grimm's also pretty simple despite being a centuries-old mythical creature. I love his cape. I love the constant swirls. Mandy is weirdly complex because she is shown a couple times to be a girly girl. Like, she's wearing pink, she's wearing flowers, she's got an Alice band in, but she also loves goth rock.
Yeah, she doesn't look like Wednesday Addams.
No. Except, she was also the only one designed specifically not to have a nose.
That's because Billy took up all the nose that was available.
Grim doesn't have a nose.
He has a triangle.
Yeah, but it's not a nose.
He is a skeleton.
Yeah, he is a skeleton.
It specifically is the absence of something.
Other characters.
We're talking about nose holes again.
Again, what's the best hole? I know my answer. Someone laugh to make it worth it.
Actually, on the note,
Laura just went.
On the note of holes, I think in the first episode with Billy and Mandy together, not in their show before that, they are discussing trepanning.
What's that?
Trepanning.
Oh, trepanning.
The act of putting a hole into someone's skull for medical reasons. That's my favourite hole.
What? The hole that isn't supposed to be there is your favourite hole? Well, she's got a lot of piercings, to be fair, so she just like holes that aren't supposed to be there. They're not my favourite, though.
No.
My piercing.
They're not my personal favourite holes.
Yeah, my holes aren't your personal favourite holes.
Surprised at that, isn't it?
Is it?
I don't get much use out of those dolls.
I think we'll move on to Mona the Vampire.
Yeah. Is this completely expected that this was one of my favourite shows when I was a little girl?
I don't know. I never thought about it. I mean, I'm looking at you right now, and yesterday Laura got sort of black roots and read everything else, and it looks insane. You look amazing.
Thank you.
So you do look kind of spooky
Evil?
season right now, yeah. But yesterday, maybe not. I don't know.
Surprising, yes, in the sense that it's a TV show you've heard of. You know, we bring up shows all the time and you're like, I haven't got a clue what that is.
Yeah,
I've never heard of it. I don't know.
I don't know what Secret Show is.
You're gonna love it.
No, because I must have been able to watch this somehow because I remember watching it as a kid as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was a CITV.
Oh, I think it
thing.
was. Maybe I'm making that up. I don't know.
It wouldn't surprise me if a bunch of these shows did end up on CITV because there shouldn't be a base assumption that a British kid will have Cartoon Network. So
No.
there's still incentive for them to sell it to CITV.
And it made sense because CITV wasn't putting as much money into its own stuff anyway. It was getting things from other places.
Yeah.
Which we now know from our history lesson last time. Go back and listen.
But I definitely watched it. I remember watching it because I'd forgotten that. Clearly, I'd never watched the very first episode, and then I couldn't get it to load, so I didn't know that it was like a bet or a dare that they got.
Well, it's because it's Grim Reaper. All he does, if he's interacting with humans, he's making deals.
He's playing games.
He's playing games. Limbo.
That was a great trick, Mandy.
All in a night's work.
Why do people do tricks on Halloween?
I suppose that's partly my fault. You see, it all started a long time ago, here in Innsville, when it was just a tiny village. Now every village has its problems, and Jack was Innsville's problem. Now Jack was a pleasant guy. It's just that he had this one weakness. He loved pulling pranks.
It's a very, very good concept for a show, though, I think.
If Death made a deal with you, what game would you try and beat him at?
Oh,
Turkish open water.
Turkish open water?
Yeah. Which we'll need to... Either you need to cut that or I need to explain what it is.
Well, it's a card game. We didn't know the name of it, so
It's
these
like-
two said Turkish open water.
It's like fancy pimped up Snap.
Kinda.
Kinda. Good game. I probably would say that as well. I don't think I'm better at a single game.
There's no guarantee that I would win that. I would have to do something that I'm...
Double.
No, not even. No.
Last time we played double, I won every game.
What game would I...
This is the thing, because chess is the one, the go-to for the Grim Reaper, right?
Definitely would not play chess.
That's what
No.
they play in The Sims. I have no fucking clue how to play chess. I had to ask Meg to complete a puzzle for me in a video game because it was chess-based.
And even I was surprised that I was good enough at chess to do it. The thing is, because it was a like side quest in a video game, all you really needed to know was the rules in order to complete it. And Laura doesn't even know those. So.
The game I'm best at is Dead Fishes.
What's Dead Fishes?
It's a game that children play at the end of parties to calm them down, but they don't realise it's to calm them down.
Right.
It's who can stay still on the floor the longest. I'm really good at it, but I imagine that Death would also be really good at it. So if I challenged him to a game of Dead Fishes, I would just die before it's over, which sort of defeats the object.
You're challenging Death at playing dead.
Yeah.
I think the key here isn't choose the game you're best at, it's choose the game that you would beat Death at.
Oh, sure.
Because
yeah,
you can't, if the game you're actually best at, Death would be better than you at, all you need to think is a game you're better at Death than.
Yeah.
Or one that you're definitely more familiar with. That's why I go with Turkish Open Water, because there's no guarantee they've even heard of it.
It's genius. Yeah.
Yeah, play a game you made up.
Yeah, just make up a game and just be like, this is... And as you're going, you're like, this card means I win.
Eternal life. You got
like
it.
Cups and Friends.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Happy Halloween! Come on, Mandy.
Wait, we didn't get our treat.
So
So now we must trick.
Ooh, I love tricks.
What's a trick? Shh! What's a trick?
Hold this. I'll show you.
That's Billy and Mandy.
Okay, give me a second to wake my foot up.
Okay.
I've got to sit in a... Please, no, not that foot, Jesus Christ.
I was clearly miming.
I've got to sit in a specific way because I fell down the stairs at the weekend. I've got a huge bruise on my foot.
Huge bruise.
And my other foot's gone to sleep. Anyway, Simone the Vampire. Is it any surprise that it's based on a book?
It felt super scholastic.
Yeah, no,
It did feel... I don't think it was, but it did feel very scholastic. I actually Googled to see if it was PBS. I mean, it was on PBS. I don't know who made it. But it has got the best theme song of all time.
Jesus Christ. It's not even interesting because it was co-produced by 3 different studios in 3 different countries.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was
That might lend itself to the neutrality of the show. I felt quite neutral.
well,
about it.
yeah, because it was co-produced by a production company set in Hong Kong, which did series 3, a French production company, series 3 and 4, and then the Independent Production Fund, which was Canadian because it's a Canadian show.
You could tell by the way they were talking. They sounded very Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So presumably then, I mean, I know it was aired in France as well, but, you know, dubbed into French, but presumably it was
French-Canadian?
Potentially. I mean, it makes sense if something is produced in Canada to also be in French. Yeah, it was based on some books written and illustrated by a woman called Sonia Holliman, who she wrote books.
I did see that the woman that wrote the lyrics for the theme song has done so much in kids' TV.
Interestingly, though, the woman who wrote the lyrics, yes, but the woman who sung it, a lot of people weirdly were unofficially credited or not credited at all. So the woman who did the song, I'm gonna have to find it. Hold on, but her name was even spelt wrong.
Really?
In the credits. Yeah, so the theme music was composed by Judy Henderson and Judy Rothman, but it was performed by a woman called Lulu Hughes, who is apparently quite famous or quite well known in her circle, but her name is spelt wrong. I don't believe she's credited at all in the actual episodes, but she was then credited on the website or online retrospectively.
That's
and her name was
awful.
spelt her name is spelled Lulu, and it was spelled with the O's as well.
Oh. Imagine if you were an unknown, even in your own circle.
Nobody knows me, even my friends.
Yeah, it'd be terrible.
But she's the best thing about the show, genuinely.
Yeah, no, because I remember when we were like looking at different theme tunes on YouTube, and Mona the Vampire came up, and it felt really, really nostalgic to me, and I remember really, really enjoying it. And on rewatching it, I thought,
yeah,
it's all right.
It's all right.
There's absolutely nothing. I think it's a brilliant concept for a show, and I'll get into that in a moment. There's nothing untoward about it, really, apart from one episode where she is at a Chinese restaurant with her mum and dad, and the whole episode revolves around the fortune cookies that you get at a Chinese restaurant. And So the episodes are kind of split between, and there's almost no indication as to which world you're in other than what Mona is wearing. So split between the real world and kind of her imagination of the town she lives in.
For 10 years before coming to power at the ripe old age of 30, Caesar conquered Rome's most dangerous enemies.
Conquer Earth. You are powerless against us.
Today, Caesar is considered the father of the Roman Empire.
Oh, yeah!
Since you have such a strong opinion, Mona, perhaps you'd like to tell us what you know about Julius Caesar.
Didn't they name a month after him?
Oh, that's right, Mona. July.
And in her own version of the world, she keeps visiting the, like, Chinese oracle about these predictions that have been made on these fortune cookies, and this guy is, I don't know if it's not necessarily bad intentioned, but it's badly researched and
culturally insensitive.
It's culturally insensitive and probably is a white man doing a Chinese accent. But besides that sort of kind of culturally insensitive things that was rife.
Yeah.
It still is, but especially in like...
I mean, 2 weeks in a row, we had a white man doing a Chinese accent last week.
It's weird. The mine of fortune cookies gets the weird, like, exoticism treatment or, like, in Orientalism stuff that happened in the 2000s. Like, I can think of, off the top of my head, like 3 or 4 examples of that happening in media from when we were kids. Like, Freaky Friday does it.
Yeah.
It's
my problem with Mo the Vampire is I think it's a very sweet show, like the idea of these 3 friends who dress up and solve mysteries around the town. So Mona's the vampire, her friend Lily is Princess Giant is her alter ego, and her friend Charlie is Zapman.
He's the only one that makes sense because I was sleepy when I was watching this episode, right? So I was getting really confused.
Well, I think it's confusing because there is almost nothing to indicate when they're in her imagination and when they're not. And also, like, it's supposed to be that, like, there is a logical explanation for everything that's happening, but she's a kid, so she doesn't realise. But I didn't get it either. Like, so much was happening, it just felt incredibly real, and there wasn't enough differentiation. I'm like, well, how? The only thing that splits up these two things is, like, you know, in Arthur, where they have the sort of ripple effect to do a flashback.
I was sat there going, expecting some... Honest to God, I remembered Mona being her friend, not her. And then I watched it and I was like, oh, she's Mona. I was expecting maybe a colour grading change between fantasy and real.
The thing that actually really, really started to grate on me in these episodes was the ripple effect and the sound effect to the flashback, because I started to find it really, really, really annoying.
And it was overused. It would be used like twice in a minute and it wouldn't even transition you anywhere. It was very weird.
Is that the town clock? Since when does it have a bell? Maybe Mr. Kroner added it. 8, 9, 10, 11. Only 11 strikes at noon. I guess it still needs adjustments.
Ugh! My grape soda's gone flat. It was fine when I opened it.
My hat! Where's my hat?
My wallet! Oh!
Where's my cane?
Someone took my lunchbox!
You probably left it at home.
No way, I had Yahoo cakes. I never forget those. Charlie, are sundials accurate?
Unless you knocked them out of whack.
Well, something's out of whack. This says it's now 1 o'clock.
I don't think there's a logical explanation for everything that's going on. I'm firmly against. Because there's sometimes where it's like, but no, the time one, There's no logic.
It's never explained.
Even when they're not dressed up as vampires.
There's a guy that is like stopping time so he can commit crimes, and
and so he can become a child again.
Yeah, it's very strange, and like, I don't know, it's not clearly signposted enough. Basically,
maybe as a kid you roll with it, but as an adult, I'm like, no, wait, what's going on?
And it's Arthur uses it in a really good way.
Interestingly, the theme song is, I believe, written by the same person by the same people as the Arthur.
Really?
It's got a similar vibe. I think Arthur's got more money in it.
Arthur is like it all feels very scholastic, right?
Yeah.
The Arthur theme song is, I mean, we'll obviously do Arthur at some point.
I
but
do recognise Arthur.
Yeah,
it's
a sort of a reggae vibe. It's really good, and the Mona the Vampire song it's so good. But I can't remember specifically. Meg, maybe you can tell us what Judy Rothman has done, who wrote the lyrics to this song. She's just got a very long IMDb, basically.
Judy Rothman does absolutely loads of stuff. Like, she's not just a lyricist, she's like a producer, a screenwriter, an author.
Oh, good for
and
her.
She's worked on Arthur. Although I actually don't know if she wrote the lyrics. I thought she did. She may well have done. Angelina Ballerina, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures.
What, the movie?
No, the 1991 series.
Okay. Okay.
the movie is based on.
Yeah.
The kids' version.
Yeah, and she's been nominated for 7 Emmys.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. She's done bloody loads.
That's really impressive. I wish they'd credited the singer better, though.
That happened a lot in kids' TV, didn't it? Like, just shoddy crediting.
I think sometimes they would, like, get people in to just outsource things being done and then never ever credit the person. And now the kind of laws and stuff that we have around intellectual property are probably different to
Definitely
then.
more stringent.
Yeah, so now you've got, like, when you go to the cinema and you watch a film, if you stay till the very, very end of the credits, you're there for another 20 minutes because they're crediting every single person that's had anything to do with it.
I really enjoy the dynamic of 3 best friends, one of whom is a boy and 2 of whom are girls.
I like that. Yeah, that it gives.
It's very sweet.
It gives loads family vibes.
I like.
Shout out Arthur and Betty.
I like it when other shows, especially kids shows, have boys and girls be friends, because I fucking hate the narrative that boys and girls can't be friends.
It's like, it happens quite a lot on kids' TV. Like Danny's House had 2 girls and a boy. Wolfblood had 2 girls and a boy, and then Ridian shows up and ruins that.
I think it's been. I know that this is before the time, but I feel like a lot of shows were trying to be like, if we do 2 boys and a girl, people are going to accuse us of copying Harry Potter. So
they accused Percy Jackson of that because there was 2 boys and a girl.
Oh,
but he's a satyr. It's different.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying it's correct.
I know. I'm not replying to you.
They're terrible. It's all starting to make sense. They're terrible because they're not figure skaters. They're real historical figures. And the diabolical Waldo has somehow traveled into the past and stolen them from their real time periods. Now they're forced to skate in his show.
Remember, like, Billy and Mandy did it?
No, it didn't. It did a boy, a girl, and death.
Oh, so 2 boys and a girl. Fairly Odd Parents kind of did it, but there's a married couple and a little boy, so I don't know how that one plays out.
That is still 2 boys and a girl. Laura, it's a really simple concept. We're talking 2 girls and a boy. Not a married couple and a child, not a boy and girl and death. 2 girls and a boy.
I'm just talking about mixed gender friendships now.
This has gotten very animated. Elsie started, like, pointing fingers at Laura.
It's just not difficult, is it?
I'm just talking about mixed
gender Laura, idiot.
I'm not specifically seeking out 2 girls, 1 boy.
Well, we are.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Elsie. She's taken her headphones off. Are you not?
No.
You just stumble upon it.
Yeah.
Laura, what's your favourite hole? Let's...
Yeah, so essentially, cute concept, 2 girls and a boy. But yeah, there's...
Isn't that a song in Cabaret?
Yeah. Going around solving the town's mysteries, and in Mona's little child head, there's a supernatural
Paranormal.
reason for these happenings, and there's villains and stuff, but there's always like a justification, like a real world justification for it.
Apparently.
Yeah, apparently, but like I said, this confused me as an adult, let alone as a child.
And do you always get the idea that like her friends are just like humouring her?
No, because
No.
I mean, they've had to put that's the thing, is that her little fucking entourage follow her around in costume as well.
He
And
puts
she's got
on
a cat.
full bodysuit and cape. Like, what's his name?
Zatman.
He's in it as much as Mona. Like, he's committed.
Yeah, and she's got a cat called Fang, and he wears little bat wings.
And there's like a kind of girl at school that they all dislike, who's called Angelica. And
any relation to Rugrats?
Fuck knows.
I feel because it's younger than Rugrats, so maybe it's like, hey, renowned mean girl Angelica.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And she's like spoiled and rich, and the reason that she's rich is because her parents won the lottery. It's not even generational.
That's so funny.
Sometimes those characters and stuff feel like descendants from Veruca Salt.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. From Charlie Chocolate Factory.
I went into Laura's room last night and did an impression of Johnny Depp's.
She's really good at it.
Johnny Depp's what?
Willy Wonka.
Yeah, go on.
You guess which bit I did?
Oh, yes.
I flicked my hair under and I went, "Good morning, starshine. The earth says hello."
Horrible stuff.
And Laura went,
I really don't like that Willy Wonka.
So I'm sorry that this has been such a flop, because honest
we
to God, all I had to say was who wrote it.
We managed to get some content out of it.
If we could just find Waldo's time machine, we could take everybody back. What was it Einstein said?
What goes up must come down. Here he comes again.
What goes up must come down. That's it! The elevator! I bet he rewired the elevator into a time machine. Come on!
The vampire seeds for our generation were planted fucking young.
I always, when I was watching it back, I thought that Mona gives off vibes of what I imagine Laura was like at school, because she's walking around in like
That's very funny.
A red sort of Victorian style top, a skirt, and big brown loafers.
Maybe if
you're the only person I've ever met that wears loafers. She got nothing to say, folks.
I haven't worn loafers in years now.
Well, you've not worn loafers in about 2 years.
That's multiple years.
Yeah, but it's not yonks. It's not eons, is it?
Yonks or eons.
I do think it's a bold and weirdly complicated shoe choice for an animated girl. Animate those.
There was quite a detailed animation.
Yes, it was simultaneously quite flat and quite detailed, and just not very scary.
It moved in a pretty janky way, actually.
I just to reiterate, because like when Einstein was taught in the episode that I watched, they go to the Ice Capades that's about history figures, and at one point they're in the library studying, and Einstein's just there.
Yeah, it made no sense at all.
I was like, wait. What?
I think the point of that was that in that episode, she thinks that people are escaping from history, but that's not the case. And it was just one of the reenactors.
Right.
But
then she like snuck into the rehearsals, and the ringleader was like abusing all of his actors, and like they were real historical figures that missed their home, and she basically had to use his time machine to get them back to where they came from.
Yeah.
But, like, the real world explanation makes no sense because it's like she still saw some actors being treated horribly.
Yeah.
Like, it was just weird.
I worry for Mona. I think she needs psychological help because she's very invested in the world around her that is impossible being real. Like, she's seeing shit. You should definitely take her to a doctor. The time machine stuff did remind me of Blackadder. When they turn a cupboard. Well, when Baldric turns a cupboard into a time machine. I don't know
She's
why.
never getting medical help because her dad's a pushover and her mum's what's the word? She's like a skeptic. So her mum is too skeptical to think anything her mum doesn't believe in mental health. She's that sort of person.
Oh yes.
And her dad probably believes that the supernatural is real. He's that kind of person. How do they end up together? I don't understand.
I don't know, but I like them.
Do you?
Yeah. Final thoughts on Mona?
It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. Shall we get into the really scary stuff?
Oh, did either of you read the Mona books?
Nope.
No, me neither. Let's move on.
All right. The Spooks of Bottle Bay.
Beyond the far horizon in a place called Bottle Bay, the full moon is arising and the spooks are on their way. When midnight comes, there's happy sounds of laughter in the chill. Dressed in sheets, they're out to haunt the house upon the hill. Spooks, woo! They live in Bottle Bay. Spooks, woo! They hide away all day. Spooks, woo! Just listen when we say you won't go wrong with a spooky song with the Spooks of Bottle Bay.
I gotta, on the off say, I liked the setting. I thought that the actual town model was charming.
Yes, I thought so as well. I think that there are things about this show that would... So...
I think that is precisely what makes it fucking horrible.
So, it's... Right, let me tell you my history with the Spooks of Bottle Bay. My neighbour came home with a bunch of VHSs.
It feels like a VHS.
Oh yeah. Well, the version on YouTube is ripped from VHS.
Yeah, it's got the the lines that when you're watching a VHS.
Yeah. And it was only ever released on VHS, and a lot of it is lost. It is lost media. Only some of it is watchable. There was about...
And they say you can't delete things.
There's something like 36 episodes. You can watch about 8.
Good.
Yeah. So...
Maybe it was me.
I was invited over to like look through all these maybe not that legit VHSs, and one of them just has the word spooks in, and because of the sort of kid I was like, oh, yes, that one. So I took that one home.
She's actually Mona the Vampire as a child, not me.
And I watched this to death. I remember...
She wore out the tape,
she slept with it. She took it to school with her. It sat on
took it in the bath.
It sat on a chair at the dinner table. And then her mum and dad took her for medical intervention.
Well, I don't remember any of it. I hardly remember anything. I just remember that I watched it a lot and that my mum hated it.
For good reason.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Mum.
Like... A few years later, I was like, Mum, do you remember the Spooks of Bottle Bay? And she was like, oh, yeah. I don't even know why we had that video in the house.
I think we've got to the bottom of who lost it or...
Who was on
your mum, yeah. Did you ever have a period of your childhood where your mum was absent for a few years? Well, what she was doing was she was collecting all the copies of
Only
this
at night.
and burning them.
She came home smelling slightly like gasoline. Yeah. A little bit of tape around her wrist.
Tape?
It's nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah.
So Spooks of Bottle Bay, it starts off with that you're zooming in to a ship in a bottle on a mantelpiece, and the story takes place within that tiny little town on the mantelpiece.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, but I hadn't considered that. That's like a solipsistic nightmare.
Yeah. So it's puppets. They're quite grotesque, kind of one step down from spitting image puppets. And, well, the humans are anyway. So the humans are Sydney Sludge, who's like an all-round idiot nice guy. and he's always being sent on errands by his evil brother and sister, and the brother looks like a vampire and the sister literally has green skin.
It's Halloween. Time to arrange my Halloween party. Brother Sydney could be very useful. I'll give him a ring.
Hello, Sydney Sludge speaking.
Ah, Mr. Sludge. Hello, it's Mrs. Hankey from the town hall here. Just to let you know, there's a Halloween party at the town hall tonight, and a competition for the best dressed witch and the best cat with big cash prizes. Please arrive early to help out. Thank you. Goodbye.
Oh, that's nice. Though I'm not a great lover of pumpkins. Oh, shut up. Oh, I'm sorry I frightened you, Maxie. Oh, Maxie's turned into a pumpkin.
It's really unsettling to look at. There's a lot of other human characters. I can't remember who they are. Then there are the spooks. So you've got... the main ones are the mum, the dad, and baby spook. And I think that these characters actually look really cute. Like, they're very cute puppets, I think.
I actually liked them as well. I thought they were cute. I even kind of like how they managed to have the opening and closing mouth with, like, there's clearly, like, a ring as the bottom lip so that it can move up and down with the rest of the sheet hanging off of it so they can open their mouths. I thought they were... I liked them as well.
Yeah, I thought it was very cute.
Oh, yes, baby spook. That dancing skeleton is a bit spooky. I know. Let's all magic ourselves inside the toy shop.
Oh, yes, and we can see if we can borrow some broomsticks.
Yeah. Let's all pop in for some late night shopping. Look, there's my broomstick. Yes, baby spook, you just watch this. I'll show you how to fly on a broomstick.
Oh! Very good. Oh, he's just showing off, baby spook. We don't need a broomstick to fly. No. Just hold on to me.
And then there's a few other spook characters, but the other main one is like... It's tartan.
A living picnic.
It's not a white sheet, it's tartan. He's got crazy eyes and teeth.
Johnny Spook?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think it was Johnny Spook, and he's horrendous.
So scary.
He's funny because his name's Johnny Spook.
There's Mummy Spook, Daddy Spook, and Baby Spook.
Johnny
Spook.
He came up a couple times in the episode I watched. He had no point anytime he just comes up and makes noises, and he's horrible. I hate him.
Oh, great, more witches. I like this.
Hello, Tommy. Have you seen Sybil Sludge?
There's a lot of witches down there. Wicked.
And the spooks sort of B-plot basically has nothing to do with the humans one.
Yeah.
And the stories as they were, I didn't even understand them. The quality is not good enough for me to grasp what's going on. The voices are... I don't know, it's just incomprehensible and cursed.
No.
It's haunted.
I think that it's a good example for why a lot of things have humans and puppets instead of human puppets. Because you're right, the tartan teeth thing is horrible. But I thought the people were horrible.
Don't do that. Don't do the eyelid thing. Don't do the eyelid thing. Just, it's when they make the special case for the puppet's eyeballs. So they've got like a thick bit at the bottom, a thick bit at the top that looks like eyelids. And I don't know why that one specifically, but I fucking hate it. And they make blemishes to make them look more realistic. I'm like, no, don't do that.
Yeah,
don't do that. You're never going to convince me they're human.
I think...
You got me!
I think the setup of it as well makes, especially the bits with the humans in, feel a a bit like EastEnders.
Yes. No, yeah.
No, you're right.
It
It's a little
soap
bit
like.
soap opera. It's a bit kitchen sink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also, the voices of all the humans, bar the ones that are like literal evil
The
creatures.
Cornish people.
For whatever reason, they reminded me a lot of like my mum's side of the family and like their friends when I was growing up. They kind of sounded like that. And I'm like,
well, your mum's friends with pirates.
I mean, it's a seaside town.
Well, it's definitely Cornish, isn't it?
Bottle
Because
Bay.
That's how they sound, right?
Yeah.
Like,
my mum's lot from Burnham. Very landlocked.
arr, me hearties.
I got a feeling in my stitching that something is wrong.
Yeah, and I think I know who's really selling those tickets for the party.
Which? Fred, I think you ought to go and investigate.
All right, Sally, love.
So I tried to see if, like, there was any sort of cultural discourse about Spooks of Bottle Bay whatsoever. I looked on, like, Reddit threads, and I searched the title on Twitter and stuff, and basically it was just much older people going, they don't make them like this anymore, or who remembers this?
They learned.
Yeah. But, like, no one, I think we might be the last people to know
new people
to know who, we have to keep its memory alive because it's lost media. It's literally, there's like a website that documents lost media in the UK, and Spooks of Bottle Bay is on there because you simply cannot find it.
Well, good, because it's horrid.
Yeah, it is so haunted and just janky, and it's got a weird, like, feeling. It's just got a weird vibe.
Yeah, the rooms look
dingy.
hazy.
Dingy.
Like,
clearly
people have been
smoking this
smoking in
house.
there,
Yeah, they look like, I mean, I don't know if that's like the quality of it, but like it looks like lived in and old.
When is it from?
So I'm Googling it, and the first thing it comes up with is drama series, which is bold. There were 3 seasons, and it was 1993. So yeah, I'm right about that. There were 39 episodes. They were all 15 minutes, which is just too long.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be honest with you, this is the least I've watched of something doing this show. Like, I didn't finish one 15-minute episode, but because I had some very, like, hazy early childhood memories of it, you know, where it doesn't quite feel real, I was scared to go back and watch it because the memory of it makes me feel a bit weird. So actually typing it into YouTube and watching it, I didn't want to do it, basically.
Yeah,
Haunted
fair enough.
by the Spooks of Bottle Bay.
So I'm reading from Wikipedia here. It's a children's drama series shown between the years of 1993 and 1995 on CITV.
That's recent for lost media.
Yeah. The stories behind the show were created by Ian Allen of Button Moon fame, and the puppets and sets were designed by John Thurtle.
How is it shown on CITV?
Oh, it will have been ITV for kids. It'll be in the kids section probably, but it won't have been it won't have been when they had their own channel.
I'm with you.
Yeah, so John Thurtle is kind of big in puppets. I think he did Spitting Image.
Big in puppets.
And Button Moon is also kind of...
I've heard of Button Moon.
Yeah, that's also a fairly... I think Button Moon is quite charming, actually, but it is... I do have a few friends that found it very scary.
I don't know. All I've got to say, I don't know why, it's nothing to do with this. I like the spooks, and if I found the bits with them quite sweet, and if there were no people in this fucking thing, if it was just the spooks,
a haunted seaside town, that would actually be kind of cool.
Yeah, but I don't need the fucking people in it.
I was curious about the interpersonal drama between all of these old biddies, because
there's a lot of old women in it.
Yeah, there is.
Made a lovely stew last night. Made it in a cauldron.
Oh, I love a Halloween party, don't you?
Oh, you can't say that again.
Oh, I love a Halloween party, don't you?
Oh, come along, everybody. Have your entrance money ready. I'll take your money. Sydney will give you your ticket.
Here, get to the back of the queue, this, witchy.
Yes, get on your broomstick. Go on.
Have your money ready, please.
And like they all rock up to the one I watched, a Halloween one, and they all rock up to a Halloween party, and the way they're interacting, I was like, I'm actually curious about the relationship between these women because it seems like it would be interesting, but I'm not going to watch more.
It felt like Haunted Doc Martin.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
seaside town, mystery, old people.
Something I will
Doc
say
Martin.
for this show is it feels. I mean, sometimes it's good for a show to be like this, and sometimes it makes it feel like you've uncovered something that you shouldn't be watching. And this is the latter. It feels lived in. Like the first episode throws you in. Like that is the Halloween one.
Oh.
And
What?
And it pushes you in there, and you're like, I actually feel like I shouldn't be watching this.
This feels like I'm on my 18th episode or something, because I feel like I definitely should know the drama between this old dude with the orange and purple mask on and everyone else in this town. Because everyone in this town is like, oh, if you've planned this party, something dodgy's up. And I'm like, what's happened?
It feels like the weird film that like starts playing in a horror film that you're like, this is creepy, I shouldn't be watching this. And the fact that it exists in real life and I can watch it makes me feel like something bad is about to happen to me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it feels like it doesn't like you.
Yeah.
I actually have I had a similar feeling when I was watching Festin?
Festin, yeah.
Yeah. There's a similar, like...
A brilliant film.
Brilliant film, but a general unwelcoming vibe.
Yes.
And it's similar to this. I don't know why. Maybe it's the colours. It just made me feel unwelcome.
Yeah, it feels older than the 90s.
Oh, it feels... I was like, oh, have you... I was going to ask if you've asked your parents about it, but if it's from the 90s...
They won't have watched it. I mean, my mum has seen it because we had because we had this weird VHS of it. But it feels like something from the 60s.
It's like Rainbow era.
Does anyone know how you got hold of that VHS?
I wonder where it is now.
Watch me.
Watch me.
I mean, it's funny, but if you want to be creepy and haunting and possessed, you need to be a bit more interesting. Well, no one's going to watch you all the way through. Come on.
No, that haunted episode has been lost forever, so we'll never be haunted by it. It's impossible.
No, yeah, I maintain that's why nothing exists anymore.
What?
Excuse me?
No, sorry, I maintain that's why none of it's lost. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Because someone went, fuck this.
This is why this show is why nothing exists.
What you need to do is research how many people this show has driven to insanity.
Because it cannot be overstated how boring this is.
It is pretty boring.
Like, we're making it sound more interesting than it is. It's actually really boring.
Yeah, the thing is, the vibe of the show and the way it looks is creepy, but what happens is very boring.
I couldn't get any grasp on the story.
No.
The one I watched was fairly simple. We didn't all watch different episodes, I'm guessing, but the one I watched was person wants money, so tricks town to going to a Halloween party. There is no actual Halloween party. They find out ghosts in background set up Halloween party. That's it.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. That could have been the episode I watched, but I had so little a grasp on what was going on that I was kind of just watching shapes and colours.
And really muted, hazy ones at that.
Inside the houses was dire. Like, I was really surprised.
Yeah, the streets were actually, you were right, it's kind of, I don't know, kitsch and cute. But the inside is like... So do you remember when we were looking for a flat to stay in and... You two found a place on Zoopla or whatever, and you said, this place has terrifying decor. And I was like, what do you mean?
Oh, yeah.
And you sent me this listing, and it was terrifying decor. It was like an old woman moved in the 50s and died there.
Was this the one with the oven in a fireplace? So you'd like have to bend down to cook because it was like they'd pushed the oven into the alcove for a fireplace. Like,
and it had like horrible, like threadbare floral armchairs with doilies over the. Oh, it was so scary.
The cupboards had the like on elastic kind of fabric hangings over them in the kitchen that you would like push to one side. Oh,
if there's anything all three of us are afraid of, it's doilies.
And we did inquire, actually.
Did we? So my grandma lived in a living room like this, and she was a heavy smoker, and she also had one of those disgusting electric fire grate things.
Yeah.
This show reminds me of that room.
Yeah, it reminds me of my nan. Well, my nan's
Peeling
house
yellow wallpaper.
Yeah.
My nan's house when I was younger, because they did change some stuff, but like there are certain vibes that I'm like, yep, that's their house. Because the smoking, I don't know why it feels so much like people smoke in this tiny model town. Like,
it's in a bottle that is like sealed with a cork. They're going to die.
Oh, thank you for calling, Mrs. Hankey. Oh, a Halloween party with big cash prizes. Oh, I like the sound of that. I shall make sure I win them all. Now I've got to make myself look like a witch. Oh, it's going to be difficult.
I tried to find any literature on this and I couldn't, like just anything, like reviews, whatever. And the fact
Google
that
Scholar.
the fact that I couldn't made me feel worse about it. It was like, does this exist in my brain? Like, not happy.
As I said at the beginning, all of this is a solipsistic nightmare.
Yeah. I do quite like the intro.
Yeah, I liked the intro.
The intro was fun.
Nah, there's nothing on Google Scholar either.
Great.
Doesn't exist, mate.
It doesn't exist. Everything's like spooky North Carolina.
Right, happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween. Sorry that mine was shit.
It's fine.
But we highly recommend going through the existential crisis of Spooks of Bottle Bay and, you know, the fun of the Great
If you really, really want to feel spooky on Halloween, watch it. It's not good, but watch it.
Keep your lights on.
Yeah. Right, happy Halloween, everyone. Thanks for listening. You can find us on Twitter at thoughts__TV.
Instagram at ThoughtsTV, but the O is a 0.
And you can email us at thoughtstv2002@gmail.com.
And you can also subscribe for bonus content. Wherever you're listening, there should be a link. Just click it and you'll get more content when we get around to making it.
Are we doing another Halloween episode?
I think we are. I think we're going to do, what's it called? Grizzly Tales for Gruesome Kids.
Yes.
So get keen.
Get keen.
Bye.
Bye.